Discovering Tut, the saga continues. Welcome back to English Literature. This is chapter number 3, Discovering Tut, the saga continues. In the last video, we had a detailed introduction about the story, the chapter Discovering Tut. This is actually a story about a very young king who ruled Egypt 3,300 years ago. We are learning about this king from the findings of Howard Carter, a British archaeologist. Dear children, I welcome once again to the detailed summary of the chapter Discovering Tut. Tut or Tutankhamun was a teenaged heir to the royal throne of Egypt. The family had ruled Egypt for centuries, but Tut died young. He was the last of the family line. His funeral marked the end of the dynasty or of a dynasty. But the details of his passing away are not clear. The first slide or the slide that you find on the screen now is about the biography of Tutankhamun, the young Egyptian ruler. Tut is the general name given to Tutankhamun. There is a history behind it. There is a story behind it. We will learn about it in the next slide. Till then, you please understand that this king was very young. He became the king of Egypt at the age of 9 or 10 after his father's death, after Amenhotep IV. Dear children, the family had ruled Egypt for centuries, but many of the other members of his family ruled Egypt different years, many years. The previous king, before he was becoming the king, that king had ruled Egypt for 40 years. But we are not sure about the exact history of the rulers and their works, death, life, etc. of these pharaohs, because they lived 3,300 years ago. We get these ideas from the studies made by archaeology department, especially since 1922. Long 80 years of studies, that is from 1922 to 2005, we have summoned different ideas about the vast dynasties of pharaohs, the powerful Egyptian kings who ruled over Egypt more than centuries. They were wealthy kings. But Tut died young. He was the last of the family line. We do not know about the mysterious death of this young king. Normally he wanted to rule until his death, but his death was made or happened at the age of 19 or 20. Something unexpectedly happened here. His funeral marked the end of a dynasty, means that was the end of Tutankhamun's rule ended, and his dynasty's rule also ended along with the death of Tutankhamun. That is why it is written here, his funeral marked the end of a dynasty, but the details of his passing away are not clear. Whatever ideas now we have are speculations. Okay? Tut's father or grandfather Amenhotep III was a powerful pharaoh who ruled for almost 40 years. His son Amenhotep IV succeeded him. The new king promoted the worship of the Aten, the sun disk or sun god. You know, these types of kings had an absolute power over the people, over anything under them. They were autocrats. Definitely, the people were afraid of them. They were the absolute powers. So immediately after a person is becoming a king, definitely they will start reforming something, changing something in their nation. No one will question them. But in 21st century, in this modern world, as we are living in a democratic country, nation, definitely we have the right to question the changes that are taking place or taken place in the nation by different governments. But now we are living, now in this story we are living not in AD but in BC. Okay, that is 3300 years ago. The new king promoted the worship of Aten. Who is the new king mentioned here? Not Tutankhamen, Amenhotep IV. Okay, after the death of Amenhotep III, Amenhotep IV became the king of or pharaoh of Egypt, and he started smashing. Okay, the new king promoted the worship of Aten, the sun disk, and he changed his name to Akhenaten, or the servant of the sun god. So till Amenhotep IV, or until his death, the main god in Egypt was Amen, one of the powerful gods in Egypt. But immediately after Amenhotep's death and Amenhotep IV became the king, what did he do? He demolished the images of goddess Amen, and not only demolished the images but also the temples. And he built the temples of sun god everywhere in Egypt. And people also were compelled or forced to worship sun god. He also shifted the religious capital from the old city of Thebes to the new city. He also shocked the country further by attacking Amen. This is what I have been talking about. A major god breaking down his images and closing down the temples. He was succeeded by another mysterious ruler who died soon. Then a very young Tutankhamen sat on the throne. Then came the next king, Tutankhamen. Actually, his name was not Tutankhamen in the beginning. He is widely known today as Tut. He restored the old ways, the worship of God Amen. And what did he change in his rule? What all transformation, what all changes Amenhotep IV was done, were changed, were restored. And Tutankhamen followed the olden ways. He started worshipping God Amen instead of sun god. He also changed his name to Tutankhamen. Here I am going to tell the story behind Tutankhamen, but I have been talking in the initial part of today's episode or video. He also changed his name to Tutankhamen. Why? This is the story now I am going to say. So Amenhotep IV, his father or grandfather, had given him first the name as not Tutankhamen but Tutankhaten. Please understand, Tutankhaten was his first name. Tutankhamen's original name was Tutankhaten. And when he became a king of Egypt, he changed his name to Tutankhamen. Why did he change? Tutankhaten means servant of sun. Actually, Tutankhamen did not worship the sun god, and he wanted to worship Amen, the strong god in Egypt, and therefore he changed his name from Tutankhaten to Tutankhamen. I mean, living image of Amen, a major god in Egypt. So this is the reason why he changed his name. But generally he is known as Tut. He ruled for about 9 years and then died unexpectedly. Tut's mummy was discovered in 1922. So discovery of Tut was done in 1922 by a British archaeologist. His name was Howard Carter. Perhaps he was murdered, but he was laid to rest with a lot of gold and with everyday things like games, bronze razor, clothes and cases of food and wine. See, I told you in the beginning that pharaohs were very wealthy kings. And also they believed a life after death. They believed a life after death. And what did they do for this at the time of burial? They preserved the body of every pharaoh after their death. Preserving means not simply covering a body with different clothes and all. They applied some medicine on the body, dead bodies of the pharaohs, and tied the body, covered the body with a very powerful cloth, piece of cloth, white cloth, covered the entire body and kept it in a big box. And in that box, not only the body was kept, but also the other things that king needs for the second life, such as games, a bronze razor, clothes, cases of food and wine, gold, everything. It was believed that the dead pharaoh would need those things in the afterlife. Dear children, please understand that this is absolutely different from our custom traditions. So the inventions, the discovery that was made in 1922 by Howard Carter is revealing the secrets of the life of a particular group of kings ruled over Egypt 3,300 years ago. Howard Carter was very surprised about it. He made different types of studies. After a long study in 1922, he was successful enough to find out the body of Tutankhamun. Tomb. After years of searching, much of the treasures buried in the tomb had already been looted. Please understand that the treasure, because nowadays nobody sees. Suppose the body nowadays buried, will not be noticed by many, because nobody likes to go to these burial grounds and after the burial, after the cremation, because that place is only for those people who are dead, and nobody likes to go there, and no one likes to come out from there. That is what is the interesting thing. So, but what happened in the life of pharaohs, or to the bodies of pharaohs? Actually, the pharaohs were not only kept were in the coffin, in the box. Along with the body, there were treasures, gold, coins, different things that were needed for that king for the next life. And those precious things were looted by the people during this time. But still, the body was not damaged. So that is what is written here. Dear students, discovering Tut, the saga continues. First part of the summary is over. Really, this is the second part of the story, but the first part of the summary. There is one more part remaining. There we will learn about what happened to Tut and what all reforms he had made in his time of reign or rule, and what happened in 2005 when the CT scan was made. All these things we will learn, or we will find the answers to these questions in the next episode. Till then, I sign off from this video. I am Santosh, your English teacher. Take care. Have a wonderful day.